WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. This bottle's so rare, I can't even find it online. All right, this is Smooth Ambler. I got this at a distillery. I was on my way from Virginia to Kentucky, stopped off there, did a tour, filmed it, put it online. Thank you very much for that possibility. And at the end, the tour guide gave me this bottle. All right, so I took it home. This is the distillery exclusive. This is, and it says here on the very beginning at the top here, distilled in West Virginia, wheat whiskey. Now, Founder's Cask finish, straight wheat whiskey, finished in a Vino de Naranja cask. So 46% alcohol, 6 years of age. On the back, it says very big letters, distilled in West Virginia, batch number 1. So you can see all that. But then underneath, it says bottled by. I would have distilled and bottled by, but it does say distilled here on the front and on the back, so I guess that's enough for us. As I said, I can find a 7-year-old version of this which sold out online at 1 or 2 little shops that have identical things here, but I really can't find much information about this. While doing the tour, also in my video, the tour guide said they have 3 mash bills. They have a rye mash bill, 88% rye. They have a high rye bourbon, 21% rye, and they have a wheated bourbon with 21% wheat. He did not mention anything about a wheat whiskey. So this has to have at least 51% wheat in it to be called a wheat whiskey. So, and wheat whiskeys, I have, for example, when I do a whiskey fair or a whiskey festival over here, I do about 20 to 25 of these a year at the moment. Let's say more 20. That I have a whiskey fair and I have a booth and I have products from N10 Bourbon that I represent and some of also from another company called Bottle Brands, and they have Reservoir, Richmond, Virginia, my hometown there, their whiskeys, and they have a 100% rye whiskey, 100% corn bourbon, and they have a 100% wheat whiskey. And that wheat whiskey I love. I always say the wheat whiskey is almost like a canvas, and the cask has all the ability to paint on that canvas however they want. Now, rye, the cask competes with the flavor profile of the rye, but wheat is just subtle, and that's very, very good. I have not had a Vino de Naranja, an orange wine itself. Vino de Naranja is actually here, produced in Malaga in Andalusia in Spain, been there. And it's a white wine which is macerated, so actually just steeped, you put orange peel in it. They use here, or they can also use muscatel, and they can use just a white wine. All right, so and they actually do have a little bit of a process of aging in the Solera system, according to Wikipedia here. And Huelva is one of the cities they do it in, as well as Malaga. And it's usually dark orange to brown in color, and the brown color is resulting of the sun drying of the grapes prior to fermentation. Okay. This type of cask, Vino de Naranja, is not allowed in Scotland. Never seen it. I have not seen it in Ireland. I do think in India, either Amrut or Paul John had a whiskey where they actually had that orange peel in there. That was weird. I had it 7 years ago, and never since. That was funky, let's say that. If you've ever been to my channel, you know that I love to compare whiskeys. And so this is something of a little bit of a mystery for me. And so I just pulled out something which is, for me, Old Faithful. I used to not be able to talk about that because I want to be independent. I used to be the brand ambassador and the importer, basically, of this in Germany. And so they were sold to a company called Ilva Zaurono. We were not allowed to represent them anymore here in Europe. So now that actually went to a German company called Weinwolf, which is now responsible for Germany for importing and distributing all their products in Germany. The Buskers, Irish whiskey, Sagamore, a gin, a rum, Balik, I don't know, and in the future also their Amaretto and their coffee liqueur that they have here from Italy will be distributed by a company that actually buys products for us and sell products for us in Hamburg. So that's kind of cool. Okay, look at the color difference. You can see this, I think. Yeah, much darker. Okay, double oak, two new casks. The second one, wave cask. They actually put tiny little grooves in there, 28% more surface area. Heavily toasted, lightly charred. I thoroughly enjoy what Sagamore does. They were bought up by Ilva Zorona last year. And so Kevin from Under Armour cashed out, and I'm happy for him. But we'll see what happens here in the future with them and how they're going to do their product line in the rest of the world. This, and that's what you're here for, is unusual. First of all, wheat whiskeys. How many wheat whiskeys have you had? But Jason, I know Maker's Mark. No, it's not wheat whiskey. That's a wheated bourbon. So wheat whiskey, you have to go to Bernheim. That's a wheat whiskey. Woodford Reserve has a wheat whiskey. There aren't that many wheat whiskeys out there, to be honest. All right, so there are a few, but there's really not that many. Laws have one. Who else has? There's not many wheat whiskeys out there at all. So I'm getting a weird orange peel, almost orange cough drop, orange cough syrup moment. There's a little bit of a oakiness. There's a little bit of a allspice moment, but it's not, this is usually what I drink. My bourbons is usually what I drink with my rye, and this is here. It's over in left field. It's a little bit weird, a little bit out of touch with my normality of American whiskeys. I'm not sure if I like that. Now, Smooth Amber is not the first one to do the Vino de Naranja. We had some more prominent things. For example, Heaven's Door Bootleg Series number 3 had it. Penelope with Valencia. I've heard good things about that. 15 Stars has the Vino de Naranja. It's very prominently influenced by its finishing barrels. All these come with a heavy price tag. I mean, the 15 Stars is $140. The Bootlegger series was $540. The Penelope Valencia was the cheapest of them all at $75. If you want to try one like that, do that. That's actually interesting. Yeah. But as I mentioned, this is not something we use over here in Europe at all. Those casks, and there must be a cask brokerage that says, hey, this is a good idea. Let's sell some of these Vino de Naranja casks to American distillers and let them just play around with it. And we'll learn from what they're doing, and then we'll come over to Europe or to Japan or someplace else and say, hey, we have cask, and look at this. It's been a big hit. And they're just seasoned casks as well. So there's a lot of seasoned casks out there, and so why not? Sherry casks, port cask. If you ever had a ruby port seasoned, and. So, yeah. Let's try it, 46%. I was hoping for a little bit higher, but it's okay. I was hoping to have non-chilled filtered somewhere written on the label. A little disappointing there. Cheers. There's a sweetness, there's a bitterness, there's a pepper sharpness. This is juice made at the distillery Smooth Ambler in Maxwellton, West Virginia. It's funky. It's different. It's not up my alley. This is a C- whiskey for me. Value for money, I think it's $70 some in the States. It's a D. It's not something I would go out and purchase. And yet it's weird, unusual, and almost a little exciting. So I would have preferred, since I've never owned a bottle of the Founder's Cask bourbon, I would have preferred that. I've had the rye, I've had the Contradiction rye, I've had the Contradiction bourbon. This is something I was gifted, and so hey, you don't refuse a free gift here. But Not my flavor profile. The double oak, on the other hand, I think Sagamore's doing a lot of things right. Their normal 41.5%, their normal 56.1 or whatever that is with cask strength, their 48.3 with double oak. Then they have all those finished products, the rums, the sherries, they have a peach brandy. They have all these finished products. Almost all of them are delicious. If you can get a Sagamore, please do. The normal, start with that. Move up to double oak. Go to the cask strength. Go to the finished products. I don't think you're going to have a bad one. And they're starting to make all their juice themselves. They've been making juice now for 8 years? Or 6 years now, 7 years. And so they're phasing out all the MGB barrels they used to have. They're phasing in all their own barrels. And this stuff is just delicious. Very, very, very good juice. I can highly recommend it. I'm very, very sad that I no longer can represent Sagamore in Germany and praise the wonderful things they're doing there. Smooth Ambler, also interesting, also good, very, very good. But they have a big company behind them with Pernod Ricard. They don't need me. So my question of the day is, what is your craziest finishing cask you've had? So I've had some weird stuff, but I have a friend, he actually used sugar beet. Yeah, he has coffee. He's done tea. I've had apple wine, apple cider, Vino de Naranja, tequila, mezcal, beer. I mean, every flavor of beer under the world. IPA, stout, everything there's been there. Bock beer. I mean, there's so many different types of beers. What's the craziest finish you've ever had? It doesn't have to be a wheat whiskey. It doesn't have to be a rye whiskey. It doesn't have to be a bourbon. It can be anything. What's your craziest finish you've ever had there? Tabasco. Ah, that was so bad, George Dickel. Thank you for discontinuing it. And. I mean, hey, that's what things are out there are just no limit to the imagination of the human brain sometimes. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing. Thank you very much, Smooth Ambler, for this bottle. Thank you very much for having a great distillery and great staff there. And I look forward to one day being there again and actually experiencing the wonderful development of your brands in the distillery. See you real soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.